calling it a gender war. A lot of men are carrying humiliation, rejection, emotional neglect, pressure, loneliness, and years of being told they're only valuable if they produce, perform, suppress, provide, or man up. A lot of women are carrying fear, betrayal, trauma, objectification, abandonment, manipulation, violence, abuse, exhaustion, and years of being treated like their worth begins and ends with what they can give to everybody else. Both are real. Both hurt. Both leave scars that completely reshape how somebody sees love, trust, intimacy, and safety. But somewhere along the line, social media figured out that pain gets more engagement when you turn it into a war. So now everybody's algorithm is feeding them the worst examples of each other until people genuinely start believing half the planet is their enemy. Men watching clips of toxic women all day. Women watching clips of toxic men all day. Everybody is building their worldview off trauma compilations and rage bait. And the scary part is that once somebody's nervous system gets hurt enough, they stop looking for understanding and start looking for confirmation. That's how bitterness reproduces itself. A woman gets hurt by terrible men, then every man starts looking dangerous. A man gets destroyed by terrible women, then every woman starts looking manipulative. The brain does that to survive. That part is very human, but survival mode is not the same thing as truth. Because the truth is, there are men who would protect a woman with every piece of themselves and never use her softness against her. There are women who would love a man deeply and never weaponize his vulnerability. There are horrible men. There are horrible women. That's called Earth.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Before You X Me. It's your boy JJ.
And I go by the name of AK. Welcome back. But first, please do us that favor. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, interact with us in the comment section. We need this. Let's give it to them, Jay.
Yo, I'm realizing that a number of you mans you're not subscribed to the channel, so please go and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification so you know when we drop content. We're trying to make sure we're a bit more consistent this time. So please make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification.
Thank you very much for the word so sweet.
I'm here to represent the women who we're not going to pussyfoot around trying to make men feel better or to try and bring men on board, because for a long time feminism was about let's try and bring everyone on board, let's make it equal. But equality is not always going to be the solution. It begins with reparations. It
So you
begins
want to
with
be
looking at
above right now?
Just take plenty big word.
I mean, just
rubbish.
just from that first point, the whole idea of the first wave of feminism was equality, right?
Yep.
Oh, we want to be able to work. We want to be able to
And the
vote.
same.
We want our say to count.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying? That was the initial idea of feminism, right? And yes, while we're all for it, cool, no problem. Let women work if they want to work, although it only contributes to the economy of the country. So we could pay more taxes if you check the background of it. But cool, let women work. No problem. Let us be able to vote. Okay, cool. If you live in a country and you're affected by the policies that's put in place within that country, of course you should have a say. So no problem. Here, vote.
Let them drive.
Now you're talking to a woman who's basically saying it is no longer about equality, it is about equity. Now, when someone used the term equity in a conversation like this, they're basically saying, even though I may not deserve this thing, just give it to me anyway.
Equity.
Even though I may not have worked for this thing, just give it to me anyway.
Equity.
Why? Just because I get bekos between my legs.
Equity.
And it's like, how do you even engage with someone who's so far removed from reality?
That's where you're coming from. There's an angle that I look at this girl. She's not my cup of tea. She's not the person who I could ever relate with. But there's one thing I like about her. I like people who have strong opinions. Stick to it. Talk your shit. If it drowns you, that's your business. But I know what you stand for. I might not like it, but I like people who have strong opinions. I like people, especially in this era, where it's a soft, watered down era, where there's a lot of people pleasers. I like if you walk in the room, not everybody likes me or nobody likes her. I know that she's showing it. You might not like me, but I'm in the room.
Okay.
One thing that has put me off, there's just a lot of yes men now. There's a lot of yes people. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of stuff to be liked. They want to be heard. They want to be on every platform. But I know they're going out of their way, JJ. They're going out of their way just so that everybody can like them. They can walk into every room and everybody can give them audience and be like, yes, he's a cool person. I have a problem with those kind of people.
I get your point. And I totally understand exactly why you would say that. Yes, I also want to know a snake from afar. So I want to know what your points are and where you stand. Yes, I do. However,
Yes.
every voice online is speaking to someone.
Agreed.
You don't know what point that person is in life. Usually, most of the time, it might be the younger generation. And
Right.
a lot of the time, you're just passing on your trauma.
True.
This girl is broken.
She's not teaching how to.
Like literally, she needs Christ. She needs Jesus in her life. No be say a matter of what's it called. She needs deliverance. She needs saving. And I'm not saying it to be judgmental and kind of like ride on a high horse or moral.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it because the things that comes out of her mouth, it just doesn't make any sense. She says she's a dominatrix from the last what's it called?
Yeah. Remember that one?
She
Yeah.
inflicts pain on men.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
pay for that service. Like, how weak can y'all be?
It's just a fetish. I think you're taking it to extreme.
And the thing is, when you start to go into conversations of life, people tell you it's not that deep.
I want to be
looking
above
at the
right now. Above
I don't
men.
want to be above. I believe I am above.
Feminism is nonsense. Feminism is a joke, especially in Nigeria.
I think
it's
this
actually
man is a joke.
And
I don't think feminism is a joke. I think
feminism
you're
is a joke in this country.
You're a joke. Marriage.
I don't think he's well versed in the conversation that he's having. And I think by a mile, this girl showed more composure than he did. And she had more talking point than he did. I don't think he addressed the conversation with enough preparation. I think he just turned up not knowing who he was going to have a conversation with. This girl has been having this conversation for a long time.
That's all she's known to do.
That's all she's known to do.
Every
man.
platform is this. Like what JJ said, you're going to on a platform, do your due diligence, research.
And what the Pharaoh guy was saying about feminism being a joke, especially in Nigeria, is absolute nonsense. Because I think Nigeria is what needs
feminism.
the
Thank
most.
you.
And the reason why I say that
It gets
is because,
sister, it gets daughter, it gets mama.
yeah, and it's because, look, Nigeria is a very male-dominated environment,
Yes.
especially in every single way. I dabble a lot in Nigeria. I do business in Nigeria, and honestly speaking, majority of the time, people won't even answer my business partner. They'll answer me.
Fact.
If she could call 100 times and they might not pick up her call, but once I call one time, I get results.
Fact.
And you see it in every single element. Even when girls are looking for work and they get called for interview, the person that's interviewing them wants to sleep with them before he gives them a job.
Fact.
So you can clearly see, but the level in which he was saying that feminism is a joke in Nigeria is you can't ask for equality and then benefit from patriarchy. You have to pick a battle. Do you prefer the patriarchy that you highly benefit from financially, or do you want equality? Which one do you want? Women in Nigeria highly benefit from patriarchy. Like, they benefit from patriarchy in the sense that men spend the most money in Nigeria. Most women can't even go out if a man isn't involved. Pay my taxi, buy my hair, buy my dress, pay for my nails, pay for the meal, pay for the table at the club, and all of those. You benefit from patriarchy, from a male-dominated environment, but yet you're asking for equality. My sister, you must stand for one. You can never stand for both.
The system already was designed to benefit men. And the reason why I say that is because marriage allows for even the poorest of men to still have a maid. And yes, if that man that I'm with, let's say he loses his money, right? Because that's the thing women hear a lot. You want a rich man? Well, what if he loses his money, right? We fantasize about the idea of a woman who likes rich men being with a man who loses his money. Guess what? He loses his money, he loses me, I move on.
You're an adult. You should be able to pay your rent. You should be able to put food in your mouth.
If we are having babies with men, we're having babies with men who can afford us the best possible healthcare, because if you are opting for the route of pregnancy,
Why can't you? Don't women
die.
work?
No, I mean, you see, she had a point there.
Yeah, I was well put on there.
No. And I think the fact of the matter is women practice hypogamy, and I don't blame them for practicing hypogamy. Women date up above their class. Women want the top of the
Creme de la creme,
of
yeah.
men. But unfortunately, those don't always come with the best values. So at the end of the day, if your only metrics of measuring what a good man is how much money they have, then ultimately your selecting process is whooped, because a bad person can have money. Majority of the people that have money are bad people. You
Fact.
normally say Isale or Olegmi. That means that the bottom of wealth, the source of wealth, there's something mad. I don't know how to say Egmi in English, but it's there. So it's like you can't use money as your only metrics for measuring what a good man is. However, yes, women want men who can afford the best health care for them
And the kids. Yeah, and the kids.
And for their kids.
Yep.
Women are creatures of survival. They must survive. If one no work out. Now why women, most of the time, women know they get regret. If woman leave you, break up, even if you were a perfect man, she go move to another man and she may never regret losing you. And that's just a fact. I mean, maybe not all the every scenario.
Or some would regret because some will regret.
They go enter bad hand.
Well, when you go to a bad decision, some will regret and then they will now come back and then
and they can still move on to another this thing that will be better. So ultimately, it is what it is.
If you could send 2 advices to her in 2 sentences, yeah, not to go into
I'll do it 2 words. Find Christ. Honestly speaking, I think as we go more into like discussing and doing this podcast,
you don't need to go church.
Yeah, no, now they attend church online now. Let me tell you what, I know they advise grown men. At one point in life, everybody must make a decision in what direction they want their life to go. Me, look, this life don't pepper me. This life don't beat me, don't drag me up and down. I don't tire for the dragging. When next I go face?
Women are already making a lot of money more than men. Women are making more money. Averagely, the average woman has more money than the average man. So how does it work?
In what part of the world?
Yes.
What statistic have you pulled that from?
Yes, you can go do your research.
But here on this podcast, I remember somebody coming here to say that most women that have money, that men are their sponsors, which means that men have more money than women.
Yeah,
so
men make up the global shareholders
so the
of money.
10% of top men are funding these girls, and they can have like 5 or 6 of these men doing those things. Let's talk about Nigeria.
So what's the point? Is it men funding or not?
Yes, men fund women. I'm talking from your...
So we don't have more money than men.
What? So the top % of men, I said averagely, right? So I said averagely. So on an average scale, I believe women have more money. The average woman has more money than the average man.
Because they're taking from 5 men.
Yes, they can take from multiple sources and they can also take from their jobs. Yes,
factor.
The so-called.
I don't think the average woman is doing that.
Can I quote a?
There's something that he said that I wanted to.
No, let me quote the statistics. According to WGEA.au, the average woman does not earn more than men.
Thank you, Jesus.
Globally, women earn
significantly
less than men, with data indicating they earn approximately 77% to 83% of what men earn, resulting in a persistent gender pay gap of roughly 17 to 23%. This disparity exists across industries due to factors like occupational segregation, career interruptions, and discrimination.
So, can you do that? Can you limit?
I've actually heard an interview with Jordan Peterson when he actually addressed gender pay gap. And I think if you have an ounce of sense, you'd understand the reason why. No, it's true. You understand the reason why there is a gender pay gap, and based on how it's actually calculated, like all it takes is like just common sense, like just don't be stupid. You fully understand it. So basically, gender pay gap exists because of what he said: career segregation, career gap. Basically, women are more likely to go on maternity leave 6 months to 1 year, potentially. Women are likely to work less hours. Women are likely to take time off for family, whatever requirements. Whereas some men put in 40, 60, 80 hours a week
consistently
into work.
Uninterrupted.
And the way it's calculated on just an average without taking in those nuances. So there will be a gender pay gap if you don't do the maths correctly. But if you really want to do the maths correctly, factor in those variances and then see what results you have. You get what I'm saying? So when this guy is talking about, and he's not making his point very well as well, that's why I think he could have done better, because I actually like the guy and I think he's an intelligent person, but I just think he was unprepared for the conversation. And I think the way he's putting the point across, saying women make more money than, yeah, but you are not factoring a lot of the industries that's not actually being calculated when you're calculating pay. You're not calculating the Olosho, how much the Oloshos are making. You're not calculating it. Yes, they're making it from men. Even poor man said they carry Olosho.
Yep.
Generally speaking, look at the film industry in Nigeria, for example. Do you think the women are making more money than men, or the men are making more money than women? If you look at music, for example, yes, men are making more money than women in music. And that's because there's more male artists than female artists. So if you're calculating on an average, it would never be equal. It would look like there's a mad, crazy gap.
Who is the highest paid footballer in history?
Because you're looking at sports. Sports is based on profitability. So men's sports is more profitable. But on average, Women get paid more percentage of what their sports make than men do. Men get paid about 10%. Women are getting paid about 20-something% of what they're bringing in. They're just not bringing in enough money.
Even in the porn industry.
In the porn industry, women are the commodity.
Who gets paid more?
Women.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Women are the commodity in the porn
industry. Because I thought it was only OnlyFans. I don't say woman get money.
Since Brian Pumper, how many male porn stars do you know?
I don't know their names.
But how many of them do you know that are famous?
I don't know any.
But how many female ones do you know?
Because I like women.
And exactly my point. And because men are generally the spenders in those industries, men aren't paying money to look at men unless they get.
So obviously the highest paid in OnlyFans is usually women, isn't it?
It's women are getting paid millions of dollars on OnlyFans. As a man, go open OnlyFans, see who go be there for your fan.
Dry.
No, now men go there.
But they won't pay that much.
They no go pay. Who go pay $5.99 to see your prick? You they mad? Who you be? You say they go pay $5.99 to see your. And then anyway, look, I think it's an interesting conversation that they have, and I think it's worth a watch if you have the time. It's like 2 hours long. She made a lot of good points that if anybody that's not emotionally grounded hears those points, they will relate to it and automatically think that their life is shit. But I promise you, people like her they're broken. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental, but just to point out the fact of she's speaking from a place of brokenness. And she's talking about being a misandrist. This thing I always see in the comment section. And genuinely, I think Nigeria has some of the smartest people and at the same time have some of the dumbest people on the planet of Earth. Like, some of us are so fucking stupid. It's unreal. And what this person said is not actually that stupid. However, this notion is stupid. She said, when a man cannot bring sense to an argument, he tries to water a woman down with moral. Now, at what point, how far have we gone to the point that we no longer care about moral?
Morals is one of the main factors.
If I'm going to have a conversation with you, it doesn't matter what topic. Under what moral are you actually discussing this thing? Like, you're so blinded by your need to support women so badly to the point where you can't call a spade a spade. And that's damaging. It shows me that your mentality is already whooped. And honestly speaking, I was going to respond to the girl in the comment section, like just to kind of like say my one or twos, but I actually don't respond in comment sections. And then I looked at her page and then I'm like, yeah, I won't even be arguing with you. Not because of anything else, but just because I can already tell that you're not mentally like all the way there.
And that's why it comes down to the first point he made. It's not every conversation you see with every person you have to engage. Some people, you just look dead, allow it. It's pointless. But yeah.
Calling it a gender war. A lot of men are carrying humiliation, rejection, emotional neglect, pressure, loneliness, and years of being told they're only valuable if they produce, perform, suppress, provide, or man up. A lot of women are carrying fear, betrayal, trauma, objectification, abandonment, manipulation, violence, abuse, exhaustion, and years of being treated like their worth begins and ends with what they can give to everybody else. Both are real. Both hurt. Both leave scars that completely reshape how somebody sees love, trust, intimacy, and safety. But somewhere along the line, social media figured out that pain gets more engagement when you turn it into a war. So now everybody's algorithm is feeding them the worst examples of each other until people genuinely start believing half the planet is their enemy. Men watching clips of toxic women all day. Women watching clips of toxic men all day. Everybody is building their worldview off trauma compilations and rage bait. And the scary part is that once somebody's nervous system gets hurt enough, they stop looking for understanding and start looking for confirmation. That's how bitterness reproduces itself. A woman gets hurt by terrible men, then every man starts looking dangerous. A man gets destroyed by terrible women, then every woman starts looking manipulative. The brain does that to survive. That part is very human, but survival mode is not the same thing as truth. Because the truth is, there are men who would protect a woman with every piece of themselves and never use her softness against her. There are women who would love a man deeply and never weaponize his vulnerability. There are horrible men. There are horrible women. That's called Earth. And people keep trying to turn human corruption into a gender-exclusive trait because it's easier than admitting something more uncomfortable. Pain is not loyal to one sex. Trauma is not male or female. Narcissism is not male or female. Cruelty is not male or female. Cowardice is not male or female. Neither is kindness. Neither is sacrifice. Neither is evil. Neither is love. The internet profits from division because healed people are harder to manipulate. A man who genuinely loves women doesn't spend all day online screaming about them. A woman who genuinely loves men doesn't spend all day online humiliating them. Whole people people do not obsess over demonizing half the species. That level of hatred usually comes from unresolved wounds searching for somewhere to land. And people don't want to hear that because anger feels powerful at first. Blaming an entire gender feels easier than grieving what actually happened to you. It feels easier to say all men are trash than to admit somebody or a lot of people broke your trust so badly you no longer feel emotionally safe. It feels easier to say women are evil than to admit rejection, betrayal, loneliness, or humiliation hollowed something out inside of you. But if you never heal it, eventually your pain becomes your personality. And now we got millions of people, especially in my generation, confusing emotional self-defense with wisdom. That's the real tragedy. Because y'all gotta understand, man, men and women were never supposed to be enemies competing for moral superiority while corporations monetize the conflict. Human beings are at their strongest when healthy masculinity and healthy femininity stop trying to dominate each other and start understanding each other. Not controlling, not humiliating, not reducing each other to stereotypes. Actually understanding.
There's nothing else I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it as that. You do with that information whatever you want to. You maneuver however you want to. It's entirely up to you. But ultimately, what I know is men and women need each other. And that's just the simple fact. Find way to live with one another or continue with your war. Me, I go find babe where I go hold them down. We go cool off, we go relax, we go our own trips every other weekend. And I don't go they see us. But you, do whatever you like. Be outside, do what you want, be insulting men. Anyway, chat.
Hey, all I have to say is make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification. And Italawa.
Peace.